Video. All right, welcome. For those of you who are tuning in online, then simply say hello, let me know that you're around, and let's get stuck into this training. I'm going to share with you how to create more abundance in your life, and I'm also going to share with you 3 strategies that I think that are going to dramatically change the direction of your life in a huge way. So I just want to start off with a disclaimer that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a shortcuts to success type of thing. This is not sit on the beach or sit on your couch and wish for things to be better. It's none of those things. These are practical and implementational, if that's a word, strategies that will dramatically help you. And I know that they can because they've certainly made a huge difference in my life. So I've written copious amounts of notes on this particular training because I want to deliver to you in such a way that makes a profound impact because of the way it simply had an effect on my life. For those of you out there thinking that it's fine for you, Adrian, because you're a coach and you've been in this space and all that kind of stuff, so you have an advantage. Well, you're somewhat correct that I have an advantage. I've been deeply immersed in this type of field for most of my life. For those of you who don't know, I've been surrounded by this training ever since I was around 13 years of age when my mum joined Amway. Okay, so she would come home with a book of the week or a tape of the week. So for those of you who are old enough playing at home, that's cassettes and things like that. So I've been deeply immersed in all of this. However, I've made tons and tons of mistakes. As you know, life gets in the way. As you know, things happen, things go wrong. And it's at those times where you need this training the most. So what I've decided to do is cultivate all of these trainings into all of these findings rather, into one little training that I think is going to really, really help you. So if you want more out of life, if you are frustrated with where you are right now, if you are wondering what the answer is, if you're searching for something more and you're not quite sure how to go about it, who to see, what to learn, what to implement in your life, then you're going to want to watch this video right until the very end. So stay tuned. Let's get stuck into this training, okay? All right, so first of all, there are 2 things that I really want to share with you, which is kind of debunking a common belief and a common misconception in today's society. And I think that we've all grown up with this, and that is the adage that you should not change in order to, for people to accept you. You should not change who you are. And a common thing that we've heard throughout our life is kind of like, just stay who you are, and people should accept you for that. Now, in a social setting, in a way that people are, you wanting to fit in, and from a society's perspective, then that is absolutely true. And I tend to agree with that. You don't want to change who you are. However, from the perspective that you're the type of individual that wants more out of life, and that you are frustrated and somewhat sort of like it's not quite clear right now where you need to be in order to get to where you want to go, then I would say that belief is untrue, and that belief is actually not really serving you at all. And here's why. If where you are today is just you're dissatisfied with that, where you are in your relationships, where you are in your goal setting, where you are in wealth, where you are in your health, where you are in business, if you are currently not satisfied with that position in life, then you must definitely change who you are in order to achieve the things that you want. Okay, so I'm going to go into that. Now, that may be a bitter pill to swallow, and it may be hard for you to hear, because it certainly was for me. I feel like the resistance that I was feeling internally was the resistance not to change, the resistance not to be someone different. So I want to come from a perspective of, I want you to be authentically real in all this, but understand that you don't know what you don't know, and that in order for you to change your reality, you need to change your personality. You need to change who you are. You need to have an upgrade of sorts. You need to be sort of like modified in a way. Okay, so I'll explain this in due course. All right, so let's get stuck into this class. I'll call it a class, if you will, because it really is a training and something that I want you to really take away. If you've got a notepad or anything like that, go and grab a pen and start writing some notes, okay? If this is all making sense, send the thumbs up across the screen and let me know how we're going, okay? All right, so the first thing that I want you to understand, which is going to create a mindset shift, is that what you think really has a profound effect on how you live your life. Now, you may have already heard that before. However, something that you may not understand is that there's two components to how you think and how you feel, which make a fundamental difference as to how much success you bring into your life, how much abundance you pull into your life. Okay, so let me explain a little bit further. What you think is super important, simply because what you think has an effect on how you feel. So every thought that comes into your mind, if you're not conscious of this, I want you to be, it actually has an emotion that comes along with it. That's why you can think of something negative or think of something bad that's happened in your life and immediately feel like shit, okay? Immediately feel worry, immediately feel anger, immediately feel frustration, immediately feel sadness. You can think something and emote a feeling that is like in alignment with that thought, okay? Does that make sense so far? So now that you know this, you can't unknow it, right? And it makes a profound effect, it has a profound effect on your life. So what you should also know is the second component, because some of you may know that, and that's only some of the parts. And so if you're aware that what you think affects how you feel and actually draws in an emotion, then the other part of it is what I think most people miss. And what they miss is that along with the emotion that you feel whenever you think something, whether that be positive or negative, by the way, comes with it a memory. Or if there's not a memory available, your unconscious mind or your ego, I think it's the ego, will actually create a scenario to represent the feeling that has been induced by the thought. Just bear with me on this. Play with me at home. If you are thinking something negative in your life, let's say, for example, you're thinking in lack, you're thinking in, I don't have the job that I want. So immediately when you think, I don't have the job that I want, I don't have the career that I want, it may produce a feeling of inadequacy, a feeling of unworthiness, for example. And that feeling of unworthiness can stimulate or bring with it a memory from the past, which is something that happened to you in another lifetime where you may have been made to feel unworthy. It could have been a family member, could have been your mum and dad, it could have been a friend at school, it could have been a teacher. It doesn't matter what it is. It could stem from early childhood, it could stem from last week. Someone made you feel unworthy. So get this so far. You've thought a negative thought, I'm not succeeding in my career, I'm not succeeding in work. It stimulates, that thought stimulates an emotion. That emotion carries with it a feeling of unworthiness. Unworthiness carries a memory, and that memory comes from a past experience where someone made you feel unworthy. All right. If that memory is not available, if your unconscious mind or your ego can't produce this, I say unconscious mind and ego, but it's a thought pattern that keeps replaying in the brain, and it's hard to combat it unless you're fully present and aware of this. All right. So if that's not available, it'll actually create a scene. Some of you may relate to this, where you might be thinking of a particular person, scenario, thing, whatever it may be. It produces that feeling. There's no past memory to support that, but you now start to create a scenario in your mind of what happens when they said that, and if they say that, I'm going to say this. And your unconscious mind, or I would call it ego more than anything, starts to produce an imagery to support that emotion which was stimulated by the thought. So bear with me on this, because this is the most profound piece of information that you could ever learn in your life. Because if you are having some 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and that 90% of those thoughts are actually repeated every single day, then what you think about is highly important. And if you are thinking the majority of your thoughts as in lack, or it's a feeling of unworthiness or have-nots or something that's going wrong, it's a negative feeling, a negative thought, and that produces a negative feeling, and that produces a negative memory or something that you're creating or a scenario in your mind. This is the recipe for suffering, because you're constantly trying to look to the future at a goal that you want to achieve. However, the feeling that you have and the thoughts that are inducing those feelings are dragging you back into the past or into a negative environment. You cannot have a positive thought or a positive goal or anything that you want to achieve in terms of abundance, whether it be health, wealth, or whether it be relationships or material possessions or whatever it may be. You cannot have that thought, that intention, with having a feeling that is anything other than that. The two don't mix together, and that's where most people come undone with creating wealth, health, and abundance and relationships and love and connection in their lives. They come undone with all this kind of stuff because they don't understand that you can wishful think all you like, you can positive think all you like, you can write down your goals all you like, but if the emotion that you feel does not support that goal, I'm afraid to tell you that it would be a life of battle, right? And how do I know this? Because I've done it myself throughout my life, throughout my career. And whenever things start to go really well for me is when I'm doing the things that I'm about to teach you, okay? So this is the thing. When this happens for me, this happens effortlessly, as in I do the work and then things start to appear. This is the true secret at hand. This is the true manifestation formula, if you will, okay? So bear with me on this, right? Okay, so the importance of making this kind of shift to me is really, really it is so important that you understand this monumental piece of information, because now that you know this, now comes a fair bit of work in order to achieve the things that you want, okay? So the truth is that in most cases, when you accept this type of feeling, this type of training, this type of knowledge, then you accept that it is a way that it could be empowering or disempowering. So I want you to take it from the perspective that this is an empowering notion. You can undo this. And I'll tell you why. If I'm rambling, I apologize, but this is the reason why. Now that you know this, you can now take steps to undo all of the negative thoughts and all of the negative emotions and past memories and things like that that have affected you so far. It also means that in a moment's time, you can change the way you think and change the way you feel. So this is huge. This is massive in terms of personal development and personal growth, because you're no longer a victim of your past. You are no longer a victim of your circumstance. You're no longer a victim of those people around you, okay? You have the decision-making process, and now you will have the tools to make a positive change and create abundance in your life, okay? So here's what you need. You need a new improved version of yourself, all right? So you need an upgrade in thinking, you need an upgrade in your feeling, and you need an upgrade in your vision, all right? So once you upgrade these three things, this will have a profound effect on your life, all right? So here's the three things. Okay, so if you don't have a pen and a paper already, I want you to go and grab one. All right, if you're watching this on your phone, don't type stuff, just put it aside for the moment and keep listening, and grab a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to write a couple of things down for me, because these 3 steps are going to make a fundamental difference in your life. All right, here we go. So step number 1, I just want you to run through this process with me. Write down a goal that you have in life. That goal could be in health. That goal could be in your wealth or finance or career or business. That goal could also be in relationships. So whether it be an intimate relationship or a friendship or whatever it may be, pick one of those 3 areas which are typically the most the most important areas that people want to have an effect on or create abundance in, just pick one of those areas and write down the goal that you want to achieve in that particular area. Okay? All right, you got it? So now that you look at that goal, I want you to quickly understand and quickly acknowledge what thought immediately comes into your mind. As soon as you write that down, what's that thought? Is that thought a disempowering thought? And it usually shows up in the way of a negative belief. All right, so let's say, for example, you've written down that your goal is to earn $100,000 per year. That immediate thought that comes into your mind that says you've never earned $100,000 before, like you're no good with money. So that disempowering belief that just come into your mind immediately as you wrote that goal, that also has attached with it a memory. It also has attached with it an emotion. What is that emotion? I want you to write down the disempowering belief. I want you to write down the emotion. So when you hear the words, you're no good with money, or all your relationships have failed so far, or you'll never get that career, or you'll never get that guy, or whatever it is, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel unworthy? Does it make you have low self-esteem? Does it make you feel sad, depressed, lonely? Does it make you feel detached? Does it make you feel worried, anger, frustration? What emotion comes from that negative belief that you've now discovered that this is a common thing that will come up? Because if that belief system has implanted itself in your brain, which is like a neuro pathway, then we need to override. We need to do a sort of like Control Alt Delete, all right? And get rid of everything that's on the screen and start to override and upgrade our computer system or our software in the brain to have a new thought, new belief, new emotion. All right, have you got that so far? These are very, very important steps, and I know they take time, and I know you're probably gonna brush them off. For those of you who are sticking around, I also know that when you make this fundamental step in your life, when you take these steps and really consciously think about what you want and why you do the things that you do, this will have a dramatic, profound and impactful effect on your life. Make no mistake, I don't want to sound like it's hyperbole and there's some woo-woo rah-rah thing that I'm trying to ram down your throat. This is the game, okay? All right, so the final step in all of this to understand where you are now and where you need to be in order to get to where you want to go. So this is the upgrade. This is the new version. We're going to, go to iTunes, or we're going to go to the Play Store, and we're going to update the apps in our software on our phone. Okay. All right. So here we go. Simply state that goal again. All right. Write the goal down or state it in your mind as to what you want to achieve. Now, here's the thing. What is your new empowering belief? What is the belief you now want to believe? So if in the past it was all your relationships have failed, then perhaps you might say, I'm attractive and people love me for who I am, okay? If it's something about money where it says something like, you're no good with money, you could simply say that money comes easily and frequently to me. I'm always thinking in abundance, okay? Everything happens to me on purpose and right on time exactly when I need it. So what is that new empowering belief that you now want to have happen in your life? As soon as you write that goal, you want that to click and be the very next thought, that belief pattern that comes into your mind. What is that thing? All right. So the next thing that I want you to do is just write down what is the feeling that you will get when you believe that belief. So if the feeling that you get is loved, if the feeling you get is empowered, is limitless, if the feeling that you get is abundance, is deserving, is growth, is prosperity, then write that feeling down, okay? There is very good reason to support exactly why I do this, and it will all come to fruition in the end, okay? Bear with me. Next thing. What vision do you want to create for yourself now that you have that goal that positive belief that you've written down, the new emotion that you want to feel as a result of that positive belief, what is the vision that you have for yourself going forward? So here's the thing, right? This is the game changer. Your unconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and fictition. It doesn't know the difference between what you're making up in your mind and what's right in front of your eyes. Your unconscious mind has no idea. So you can create your perfect scenario in your mind. If you don't believe me and you want to discredit this type of belief and just throw it in the pile of woo-woo and rah-rah shit that everyone pushes down and this is the secret and let's sit on our couch and eat chips and we'll just wish for our life to be better, then just simply think or go back into your day or your week or your month and think about some thought that you have had in your mind that has created a negative belief that has taken you into a past memory, that has created a past emotion, and you made yourself feel shit. And that has not even happened. As a matter of fact, it happened a week ago or 6 months ago or 20 years ago. So by very definition, you can think something and then make you feel like crap. So why can't you think something and make you feel great? And why can't you feel great and have a vision of yourself looking, feeling, doing, hanging around those people that are making that goal come to fruition? Are you with me so far? If this is making sense, please send the likes across the screen. Let me know that this is all sinking in, okay? So here's the thing. This is the game changer, right? Now, this is where the work comes in. This is now where I said before, you've got 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as yesterday and the day before and the week before and the month before. So this is where the work comes in. Whenever you think something, a negative thought comes into your mind and it doesn't represent the goal or the outcome or the abundance that you want in your life, then you have to immediately squash that thought and replace it straight away with your new thought, the new empowering belief, the new emotion, the new vision. You can meditate on this every day. You can think about this every day. You can write it down. You can script it. And if you say this to yourself, if you repeat this scenario over and over again, just like a record that is scratched, it will never play the same again simply because all the grooves don't work anymore. And that's essentially what I want to try and create in your life. You are playing a record that is not producing the results that you want. You're playing a record in your mind and you're living it out every single day that is not allowing you to achieve the thing that you want in life, the things that you want, the people that you want, the places that you want to go, anything that is under the umbrella of abundance in your life. That's why it's not happening, because your record keeps playing on the loop that you created, and that may be for the last 20 years or 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. So yes, this is going to take time, and yes, this is going to create a lot of effort in your life, and yes, you are going to have to work hard, but also this is where the juice is. This is where the empowerment comes in. This is where the abundance starts to take place, because you will never be able to think the same again. You, in effect, will be creating a new version of you. And the beauty about this is that your neural pathways in the brain, the old patterns will start to break and new patterns will start to form. And therefore, you can never think the old way again. This, my friends, is the game. This, my friends, is where you need to be at every single day. It needs to be ingrained in your body that the same way that you can create a habit that doesn't serve you, you can now, today, create that habit. You can create that thought pattern. You can create that vision. You can create that emotion right here, right this minute. And everything can change going forward from this moment on. So the question is, Will you do the work? Will you make it happen? Will you create this for yourself? The intention or how badly you want it to happen will be the difference between whether you make it work or whether it doesn't work for you. Okay, because it's easy to go into old thought patterns. It's easy to go back to the old way. It's easy for someone to come into your life and tell you exactly who you need to be and what you need to do. It's easy for the news to come on, or the radio to come on, or the newspaper that you're reading to tell you that this is the way society is, and this is the lack in society. This is how all the problems that we have, and this is why the world's going down the toilet, when in fact the world has never been a better place to live. The moment is now, and the time, the choice is yours right now to make a decision whether you want to create abundance in your life or whether you want to be stuck with the same results that you have so far. If you want to change, then change yourself. As my mentor Joe Dispenza says, in order to create a new reality, you need to create a new personality. Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this training for me. I hope that it has served you in some way, shape, or form. If it's been of use for you, please hit the like or the loves and let me know. If there's someone that you know that needs to listen to this type of training, that needs to work on themselves, that desires more out of their life, that wants more abundance and can utilize this training, please tag them in this post or share this with them. As always, it's just an absolute pleasure to serve you in any way that I possibly can. Until the next video, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.